And with that, perhaps the biggest story of the week is the Oogie Boogie Bash debacle, the big sale trying to happen at the Disneyland Resort. We went through our own experience on this end, that's for sure. Katrina, first, did you manage to get your tickets? And second, your reaction to the situation as a travel agent. What did you experience? How do you react? And is there hope for people looking to get some of these tickets before Halloween rolls around?
Oof. One, I did manage to get my tickets.
Bravo.
Woo. Was it a great experience? No. It was stressful. My hands were like shaking. My palms were sweaty.
Knees weak.
It was just so silly. It was just so bad how they do it. You know what I mean? Like, they literally have a holding pin, and I checked at, it starts at 9, not before 9, they say.
Right.
And then 8:45, I check and refresh, nothing happened. And then at 8:46, I refresh, and then all of a sudden there's a holding page. And then you're kind of like, are you kidding? And then, so you're there and it says, don't refresh. We'll add you in the queue when it's ready. And I was like, wait, so are you adding everybody at the exact same time at 9 o'clock to overflood the system? Or is this a holding pin and whoever logged in first gets first dibs? You know what I mean?
It is random.
And it's just so silly because at that point, I would rather take it into my own hands at 9 o'clock and press the button.
Right.
Than have them do it, and then the refresh happens, and then it's 30 seconds after the refresh when I finally get into the queue. You know what I mean? Sure. So I did it on my phone, I did it on my computer, and my phone didn't budge the whole time. The little bar.
Progress bar?
The progress bar. It literally was just over an hour. Good luck. Don't even try. Walk away. And I was like, no.
I will not walk away.
And then
I'm
my
a warrior.
computer was like, okay, I'm working. Here we go. But anyway, then it was just a lot. And then as a travel agent, though, I mean, honestly, I don't really book it for people. Unless it's for the Florida Halloween Party, will I book it for everybody? It's just because, one, I want to get my tickets. And then two, it's kind of they need to figure out the days, because sometimes they sell out so fast that if you have one day and then you're trying to tell them okay, what's your plan B, and they don't get back to you, then it's kind of really hard. But it's just frustrating, I think, as to tell your clients, though, to be okay, good luck, have fun with 5 hours of waiting, because you never know what happens. Because the second time when they opened it to general public, that was just a cluster F.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. So 2 separate days of sales for those folks that don't know. The Magic Key pre-sale that happened for anybody that happens to have a Magic Key. And then was it a day or two later, there was then the general population sale, basically. And things really fell apart during the general sale. We were monitoring that on social media. People were freaking out. People were waiting sometimes up to 7 hours with no progress. And there were a lot of different reactions going on sort of across the cyberspace of what people were coming in contact with and what folks
secret
were
back doors and
suddenly
a whole bunch of stuff
able to access things versus people who didn't get to have any option to access things and nothing was moving for them. Really unfortunate to hear, especially for those folks that jumped on right as things started in the morning and waited all day, only to receive the message from Disney that says guests can visit disneyland.com/Oogie Boogie Bash on Thursday, July 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific for an update, which may include the date and time when new sales resume. We commit to providing advance notice prior to activating new sales and strive to make the process as smooth as possible. We are sorry for any inconvenience caused. Completed ticket purchases will be honored. Tyler, this reaction by Disney at least sort of acknowledges that they know there were technical issues, especially since the graphic used for Oogie Boogie Bash had an immediate under the queue has closed section. Once that happened, had a blurb about we apologize for the technical issues which have impacted general ticket sales for Oogie Boogie Bash. New sales are paused while we work to address these issues. So that's what folks saw throughout the day. There was a pause in the middle of the sale and nobody knew what was going on. Then the apology at the end of the day. And you know what? We'll get back to you in a week. We'll figure out what's going on. Your reaction to how Disney sort of handled this on the back end, and nobody seems to know what dates might be sold out versus what still might be available. There isn't a whole lot of information to go on here.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did the right thing, though. To be honest, I think if they're having all these technical issues and people can't get the tickets, I mean, it's so much better to have as fair of a system as possible by just delaying the whole entire thing than it is to just keep it open, and then people are going to be even more upset when they don't get their tickets. So I mean, I think they made the right choice. Obviously, they need to start being more prepared for these events, especially Oogie Boogie Bash, which they know sold out so quickly last year too. It's just one of those things. This has got to be their most popular event, and I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be. I'm not an IT professional. I don't know, how the servers spin up and things like that. I do know that these things are more complicated than they seem on the front, but it seems like something definitely needs to be done in the future to avoid these things, but unforeseen circumstances for them, because there's no way they would willingly want to put this on the shelf like they have had to. So I think it's a good move to delay things.
I think it's a better move to have a system that works consistently.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Years and years and years in the making.
Yeah.
This happens almost every time.
Yeah.
Almost any time there is a digital, and I appreciate your perspective and your approach in saying, I'm not an IT professional, right? I don't know necessarily what goes into this. I completely agree. I don't know what goes into it either. But you're the biggest media company in the world. Every time, with the exception of maybe a one-off here and a one-off there for less popular events, this or something like this happens where there's a technological meltdown, some sort of big problem, some sort of major issue where there's no information, they can't handle what's going on. Biggest media company in the world. You can't handle demand for your special event tickets? This isn't Taylor Swift. What are you doing? What's going on? I mean, seriously, this has become an ongoing joke almost, where Katrina and I were even mocking it leading up to the event. We had hope. Yeah. We really had hope.
As much hope as I had, could have. But honestly, yeah, I mean, I felt like I was like texting you because I was like, watch, it's just going to bust. Like as soon as like 9 o'clock hits, it's going to be like just a free for all. Like everybody's like somehow someone's going to get it. Not sure how. And then of course like people were like, oh my God, there's a back door, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, how? And I'm like Googling it, trying to like figure it out. And then I was like, that's not working for me. But it took me about like an hour, 20 minutes. But still like the whole time I'm like, oh my God, I swear to God. And then it did freeze a couple of times too. Even like, I don't know when you got your tickets, like it at the very end as I was doing payment, it froze. And I was like, well, I swear if it literally crashes and I have to go back into the queue, I'm going to like lose it. But it didn't happen. But we were making fun of it the whole time, pretty much.
Because I think we knew
every
what was
story
coming. And of course,
it happened on Thursday. I think we like sent it to the universe. Everything that we were talking about just went to Thursday.
It's because of our toxic nature that it ended up being that way, I think. No. Yeah. I will say, the magic...
you see this heart? It's pretty black.
She's been through a lot. I will say the Magic Key sale process seemed to be much smoother than the general sale. And obviously you're dealing with a much smaller group of people that are, seeking these tickets on that day. So it's good for a test run. And I think on the Magic Key side, I only waited like 2 hours or just under 2 hours. So I look at that as a win because I eventually got to my tickets. However, I know there are so many of you who are voicing your frustration on general ticket day that could not get to these tickets no matter how hard you tried. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing several other people saying at the same time, oh yeah, I got right in. Oh yeah, I was able to secure those tickets. Oh yeah, suddenly my progress bar just filled right up and I was in. With no communication, it creates a very poor experience. We want to give you our money, Disney. And every time we go through this, here's our money, please take it. And you can't figure out the best way to do it. And it's like you make folks suffer to make that happen. You put people through the ringer to get these tickets. And
But we still do it.
And we still, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an abusive relationship.
It very
isn't it?
much is. Yeah, very abusive. And I know there are bigger problems in the world, but specifically when we talk about Disney's handling of guest situations, a lot of times folks put them on a pedestal as saying they're the best in the business. When it comes to IT issues, it's almost never.
No.
And that includes having worked there as long as I did. I can tell you firsthand, even internally, even knowing who to get a hold of, things never get fixed when you need them to. It was always a problem. Now, this goes way back into a lot of different issues, many of which deal with laying off all kinds of IT professionals stateside and outsourcing to groups of people that probably weren't even awake when a lot of this was going on, to groups of people that probably have no idea what sort of impact and immediacy were needed at that time because nobody told them, or they weren't trained properly, or there wasn't something done appropriately the first time. I share the frustration of so many people that wasted nearly a day
Yeah.
in order to try and get tickets to something that they love. Because last year taught all of us especially,
Oh yeah.
100%.
you better be waiting the moment that minute ticks over into open. Because if you're not there, things sell out immediately.
Every like minute I woke up and I'm like, oh, refresh. Okay, it's still okay. And then like 5 minutes later, okay. And I'm like working out, refreshing, making sure. Because I was like, I do not trust when they say we will not do it before 9. Like lies.
And you caught them.
100% lies. I like jumped in the shower, then I had my phone nearby and I'm like refreshing and I'm like, okay.
Wet
I dry
finger.
off. Yeah. And then I dry off and then I look and I'm like, 8:45, it didn't happen. Dress, 8:46. I swear. And then it was the holding pin for everybody. And I was like,
Oh.
I knew it.
They've even done that with their Tiki mug releases from Trader Sam's too. Like I had an experience once where they said they're going to start selling it, I don't know, 6:30 in the morning or
That's
something.
right.
And then I was able to get my mugs before that time hit, even though they say it's not going to start till 6:30. It's like, it's just, I don't know why they're not doing anybody a favor by starting early. I don't know why they're doing that, but
Exactly.
here we are.
Here we are. Well, come July 6th, hopefully we'll have some more information to share with you. Follow Kingdom Report Live on social media. We were keeping up with everything that was happening the day of the general sale and sort of sharing the tips that we were hearing and definitely following up with the folks that were going through the ringer, trying to get to the tickets, and then, of course, the individuals that were successful, asking them, what happened to you? Exactly what happened, and sharing that with everyone. So, again, Kingdom Report Live on social media is a great spot to follow. And in addition to that, as soon as I'm sure the news releases from Disney, everybody will jump right back on board in order to score those tickets. They have become the hottest tickets in town when it comes to the Disneyland Resort in Halloween season, that's for sure. Let us know if you were able to get tickets yourself. Throw it down in the comments.